Are you looking for a good pair of over-ear headphones that don't cost too much money but have good active noise cancellation, good sound quality, and decent battery life? Well, the Soundcore Life Q30 might be the ones for you. I've personally used these headphones for a few months and I'd love to tell you about my experience with them and let you know if they're worth your money. So, let's talk tech. I'm Agent with Artily Tech, and a few months ago I released a video where I reviewed the Sony WH-1000 XM4s. And even though I think those are a great pair of headphones, even at a discounted rate, not everybody can afford those headphones. So I searched for more affordable options, and these Soundcore Life Q30s are the ones that showed up. So I decided to give it a try and see if they were actually worth the money. Sure, Soundcore has a few different options that actually have a bit more features and a bit more pricier than this, but value-wise I think the Soundcore Life Q30 have the best price to feature ratio. Because $80 for these headphones are kind of hard to beat, and right now in the time of recording it's actually on sale for $56. So let's go ahead and just talk about what's been great about them. First and foremost, the sound quality is really good. Now, I'm not an audiophile and I've said it time and time again on our channel, but for the most part, this sound that you will get from these headphones will please most people. Now, audiophiles, people who critique sound to a much higher degree, let me know what you think on the comments below, because I don't critique sound to the same degree as most people do. But in my usage, this produced a really great sound that I enjoyed. They have 40mm drivers that deliver that great sound, and they have the ability to play high-res audio, which I believe is also known as lossless audio, but correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Generally, the sound felt really well balanced, and it wasn't too bass heavy, which I don't like from headphones. So that's why I think these had a really balanced sound. The next greatest feature on these headphones is actually the battery life. It has 40 hours of battery life, which is 10 hours more than the Sony WH-1000 XM4s. It also has fast charging, so 5 minutes of charging can get you up to 40 hours of playtime. And similarly to the XM4s, if you run out of battery, don't worry, you can always plug it in with the 3.5mm jack that comes with the headphones. From the day I got these back in October, I believe I've only charged them once. Granted, I don't use them every day because I do switch between headphones to make sure I can try and test all of them at the same time. But these last few hours of work, few hours in the gym, and probably a month or so in is when I finally got to charge them. But moving on to the next feature is the fit and comfort. That's one of the most important things from any headphones that you try, especially over-ear headphones, and these were pretty comfortable. I won't say that they were as comfortable and a good fit for my head as the XM4s were, but they were still really comfortable and I can wear them for long stretches of time at work and at the gym. And the one thing I really care about on over-ear headphones when it comes to comfort is making sure that they don't clamp on my ears too hard or squish my head too much, because the Beats that I used to have really put a number on my ears and my head because of how strong their clamp force was. But thankfully that wasn't an issue with the Soundcore Life Q30. And while we're on the topic, the build quality of these headphones is really great, which I believe contributes to the fit. The ear cups are really nice and comfortable, and the headband is not overly squishy. They do have a touch sensor on the right ear and buttons on the headphones to navigate play, pause, and active noise cancellation, but I have thoughts on those in the cons section, so stay tuned for that. The next thing I liked about these headphones was the active noise cancellation. Now, while it wasn't as good as the Sony WH-1000 XM4s, these were really good for the price point. They also had different types of active noise cancellations that you can switch between in the app. They have a transportation mode, an indoor mode, and an outdoor mode. The transportation focuses more so on the low end of noise. Indoor mode focuses on the voices, so if you're in a coffee shop or something like that. And the outdoor mode is more so for ambient sounds that are around you when you're walking outside. And the other side of active noise cancellation is transparency, and has a pretty decent transparency mode that's comparable to the XM4s. But for those of you who are sensitive to the hissing sound when you're using transparency mode, I would say this one has a bit more hiss than ones I've tried before. That said, it still was really good and better than I expected. And if you don't want transparency mode or active noise cancellation mode on, you can always just turn on normal mode, which has neither of those running. And when you turn it on to normal mode, it probably extends your battery life because it's not using any of the mics to work. And speaking of the mic test, here's a mic test of the Soundcore Life Q30's mics. Let me know how it sounds in the comments below. The Sound Q30s are actually pretty travel friendly as well. Just like the Sony WH-1000 X4s, they fold up just like this and go into a case that looks very similar to the XM4s. And if you're someone who comes to our channel often and watches our reviews, you know that one of my favorite features on headphones and earbuds is multi-point connection. And I'm happy to say that the Soundcore Life Q30s have multi-point connection as well. And if you don't know what multi-point connection is, it's basically the ability to connect to two different devices at the same time and switch between them seamlessly. But in the case of the Life Q30, somewhat seamlessly. I say that because it's not as fast as other earbuds and headphones that I've tried in the past that have multi-point connection, but it's still eventually switches. I will say it does switch better when you're switching from an Apple device to an Apple device, like an iPad and then an iPhone. That said, it's still a nice feature to have, so I'll take it. And the last feature that I liked about this is the EQ settings and the decent variety of options you had. You can switch between a bunch of preset EQ settings, or you can customize your own. But unfortunately, as for settings in the app for these headphones, that's almost everything you can do. But before I go into that, make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it so far, if you found it helpful, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. If you want to get these headphones for yourself, support our channel by getting it through our affiliate links down in the description below. Your support helps us do more videos like this where we're able to deliver some honest and good reviews. Now let's move on to the cons of these headphones, and as I mentioned, the app is one of them. I've tried other headphones with Soundcore's app and it's much more robust than this one, and I just was really surprised about that. Because changing the equalizer settings is about 50% of what you can do with the headphones on the app. It's really this, the active noise cancellation, transparency mode, and sleep sounds, I believe. That's all you can do. And for me, that was kind of disappointing. The next one is the way these sit on your head. While they are comfortable, like I mentioned, there is a space between your head and these headphones that it's pretty big, versus when you use a Sony WH-1000MX4s, the gap is virtually not there. It sits pretty flush around your head, and I think it looks more stylish that way. So these just kind of stick out a little bit. Not that big of a deal, but again, something I noticed. Another thing that I didn't really like is the right ear cup is a touch sensor where you can switch between active noise cancellation and transparency mode, or and sometimes that is helpful. It is actually too sensitive. I've noticed a couple times when I was working out and when my shoulder hit my head, it would tap that and it would switch transparency mode to normal mode to noise cancellation, and that was kind of annoying. Or if you're just like raising your head or stretching, you can accidentally activate that. And the other thing that I didn't like is actually the button navigation. The voice control buttons are on the right side of the ear, as well as the play and pause. The noise cancellation button and the power buttons are on the left side of the ear. But because they're on your ear, it's hard to kind of tell where those things are. I find myself often having to take the headphones off and figure out which buttons I'm actually pressing, or just to press a button and hope for the best. That said, I do know that there are people who prefer buttons over touch controls, so if you're that kind of person, that is a plus. Just for me, I think they could have done it a little bit better. Overall though, I give the Soundcore Life Q30s an 8 out of 10. They're a great alternative to much more expensive models like the Sony WH-1000XM4s, while still delivering great battery, good sound quality, and features like multipoint connection. So I definitely recommend for anybody who's looking for a budget alternative to really good over-ear headphones, or anyone who's looking for a backup pair of headphones for an affordable price. But if $80 to $56 is still out of your price range, you should check out this video right here where Arnell reviewed the Soundcore Life Q20s that are usually around $40 bucks. We'll see you there. Peace.